Hello everyone and welcome to week number 4 of 52 weeks of fiber art. I'm Brandy Lynn and today we're going to play with stamping on fabric with recycled items. First, let's talk about your surface. I like to have a board with some batting on it and some canvas that gives a little bit of cushion when you're stamping. And then of course I cover it up to protect it. Next, you want to consider what type of paint you're going to use to stamp on your fabric. You can use an acrylic paint, or you can add a textile medium to make it adhere to the fabric better, to be more washable, or you can use a screen printing ink like I'm going to use today. You can buy all kinds of stamps at your local art supply store or dollar store. You can also make your own stamps with lino cutting tools. You can even find expensive, gorgeous wooden hand-carved stamps online from India. But today we're going to focus on free, inexpensive, found objects, recycled items, anything that you can find around your house that you think you'd be able to stamp with. Today I'm going to do a fun theme of circles. So first I took a piece of packing material and I cut it into circles and a ring. Then I found an old sticker that I used as a label, and this is what's left, so I'll use that as well. And I have an old kitchen tool that I found at a second-hand store, and a nice loofah sponge. So we'll use a bunch of these to make a nice circles project. First, I'll start with an old piece of plastic ribbon. Then I'll take one of my circles, and I'll place it over the ribbon to create an outline. Then you simply stamp. As much paint as you need to simply stamp. And then peel it away. Next, let's try some of our bigger circles. You can use the rim of a can. Don't want too much paint on there. Just enough to make, if you leave globs like that, you'll get globs, but that could be a cool effect. See, you have a little bit of a glob there. That's kind of a cool effect. Then I'll use this ring that I created that has a really cool, different kind of shape. You can use as much or as little paint as you like on here. The thicker you'll get, the thicker the paint, the thicker you'll get the design. Remember, it's safer to add a little bit less and then add more later. You can always add more paint, but you can't take paint away. Cool. Next, let's try the loofah sponge. This will work completely differently if it's wet as opposed to when it's dry. When it's dry, it'll have a solid, hard shape. Once it's wet and you've rinsed it out a couple times, it'll be a much softer shape. Now let's try this kitchen tool. You can paint all the way inside all these rings, get paint all over the thing. And simply sponge it. Now let's make some little circles with the smaller objects. The lid of a milk jug. Anything goes here, as long as you don't mind using it up. Now let's try one of my favorite stamps, which is this cork. It has a rough and jagged edge. Leaves a really cool effect. You can also leave lines of texture on it, and that will come right out into your art piece. That's a very cool effect. Now let's try a couple of dots on the fabric with some Q-tips. So there are all kinds of ways that you can use recycled objects to create a really fun and fancy design just with circles alone. Be sure to rinse all of your recycled items with warm water before the paint dries so you can use them again and again in future projects. So keep an eye out for recycled items around your home that would make great designs on fabric. And you can find paint for fabric at my Amazon e-store at www.brandylindesigns.com. Until next time, dream big and work hard in the studio with Canadian Quilt Talk.